Okay, today we are checking in with the wonderful Becky and Ellie Downie, hashtag double Downie, the Downie Sisters, two of our greatest artistic gymnasts in the UK. First of all, girls, hello, how are you today?
Hi.
We're good, thank you.
Yeah, really good.
How is lockdown treating you? Obviously, you are together, but what is the setup for you during this lockdown?
Well, we're trying to keep things as normal as possible, do as much training and fitness and stuff that we can. So yeah, we're trying to do like 2 sessions a day of like, for me, my first session is like cardio based, and then my second session is like more the gym skills that I can do and like visualizing and doing all the preps that we can. So yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to me. I have 2 sessions as well. The first one's kind of like all my rehab and cardio, and then second one is just trying to replicate the gymnastics skill the best we can. And like Elle said, that's like visualizing, trying to do like specific exercise conditioning to kind of replicate some skills. And it's nice that we kind of have each other because we can kind of support each other for some stuff as well. So that's really handy.
Because that's just it, isn't it? And we find this with all athletes that we speak to, but it seems particularly important in gymnastics. You can do all the strength and conditioning and you can be doing cardio in a limited space, but in terms of training your actual skills, it must be so challenging without any access to any apparatus. So what sort of things have you been doing? And when you talk about that visualization, that sounds really interesting. So what does that involve?
So like visualizing, we just kind of, for me, I kind of lay down, shut my eyes and just picture myself doing my routines like in a normal training environment and in a competition environment, just a couple times on each piece. And yeah, and for like the skills, we have like a little beam that we can do stuff on, but also it's on concrete, so we're not going to go crazy and do loads. So it's just more of like the basic skills that we can do safely.
I guess my question with that is, whilst that's going to be great for getting those routines really firmly in your head, how useful is that for you as you look to whenever competition restarts, actually getting out there? You'll know the routines, but are you worried at all in maybe your skills not being quite so sharp when you get back out there?
Me and Elle, both in our careers, we've had quite long periods of time off skills due to injury, and we're really grateful that this lockdown isn't, because it's an injury forced thing. So when we get back, we should be able to get going. But the more we know, the more we do at home, and if we keep in really good physical shape, then the skills will come back quite quickly. That's if you keep in physical shape. That's the hardest thing. Just trying to be like disciplined and making sure we do our 2 sessions a day, and we're still doing like 3 to 4 hours of work. And it's quite hard to do that at home because home's always been like your chill out space where we try not to think about training, whereas now it's become kind of the training point, and it probably will be for quite a few more weeks, I think.
So how are you combating that? Because I know it's the same working from home. What's usually your relaxation space in your space now becomes this sort of workspace. Have you got set room in the house where you've got all your kit set up, or is it just at a certain time you pack down? How are you kind of keeping that bit of divide for your own sort of mental well-being?
Well, we're mainly doing all our work outside. So like in the morning, I'm kind of getting up, doing my bike session, then doing like my legs and core outside, then I'll go for a run. And then all our equipment is like, it's too big to keep it all in the house. So it's literally like in Becky's car boot, and we'll just open the boot and then do it all on the drive.
It's like our new workspace.
I love that your cars become storage while you can't go anywhere. So what kit have you got? What's your setup like? Have British Gymnastics been helpful in making sure you've got at least enough of what you need to keep going?
Yeah, a lot of it we actually got from our like home club. Kind of the week when the lockdown kind of happened, or the week before, we were expecting from seeing other countries' gyms closing that worst case scenario we were going to be in that position too. So we went to our home gym, and the spin bike was actually ours, wasn't it? And Ellie went and picked that up. I went and kind of got like medicine balls, weighted jackets, all like our TheraBands that we use, so floor bars. We actually are really well equipped. The floor beams, we managed to get them in Ellie's car boot, completely took up the whole car. But at the moment, they're like in the house in the hall. But everything else is in my car boot, and it's really handy because we've actually got a really big drive, which is helpful. So we can kind of get the beams out there, and it's kind of like our rehab space. It's just the downside when it rains. but touch wood, the weather is quite nice right now, so hopefully it will stay relatively dry, even if it's not sunny.
Fingers crossed. You sound like you've got it all set up, all sorted now. I've got to speak to you both about the Olympics. Obviously, it was kind of an inevitable, although it was a longer decision perhaps than expected, that call that the Olympics is being postponed. Now, Becky, for you, as someone who's kind of already said this is going to be your last Olympic cycle, and being the grand old age of 28 now, which for a gymnast, let's be honest, not in any other sphere, but for a gymnast, 28 is pushing the limit of what your body can do. What was your personal reaction to that? Was there a sense of disappointment, or are you quite comfortable that you'll be able to look after yourself and continue and be there in Tokyo in 16 months time or 18 months time?
I think the biggest thing is kind of just going to be managing my body, but we have been doing that for the last 2-3 years anyway. Like this kind of from Rio to now, I knew that the biggest thing wasn't really going to be necessarily the skill. It was going to be trying to stay injury free and trying to stay healthy. And the first half of this cycle was really tough for both of us, wasn't it? With just more accidental injuries than like overload injuries, which I guess is a good thing. And then we've kind of just this last year really got on top of everything. So for me, if anything, I'm grateful that it's given me a reason to stay for another year, because I do really love what I do, and it was always going to be hard whatever point it was for me to give it up, because I love it so much. But we are definitely getting to the point now where I feel like I could go on forever myself, but my body is telling me otherwise. So I've just got to listen to it and take it a day at a time and just enjoy the time that I have left. So I'm excited.
Yeah, in a way, I suppose you get an extra year of doing what you love. You've just got to keep looking after that body. Ellie, for you, how has this change of plans really affected your training? Because you've been going through a 4-year cycle to peak come this summer. How have you adjusted?
I don't think I'll really get it until we kind of start going back into the gym. Like for now, it's just like we're trying to keep fit and tick over. And before lockdown happened, all my routines and all my work was in a really good place. So I don't see why, if I keep myself fit, that I couldn't get back to that. So fingers crossed.
This must be for two athletes who've been doing gymnastics their whole life, and your life revolves in those 4-year cycles. Has this extra year, has it affected you mentally at all in the way you look at things, the way you approach things, or is it just a case of being quite pragmatic about it?
I think it's just going to test our kind of discipline and how much we want it. And as much as the games are now, we're like 16 months away. If we don't keep up this work ethic whilst we're at home for however many weeks, it's going to be really hard for us to get back. And not just getting your skills back, but you've got to get the physical shape back. And that's when injuries happen, and it will just make life really hard. And I think we've both worked too hard to kind of lose that end goal. And as much as it is far away right now, like it will come around probably pretty quick. And for us, it's just keeping that discipline. And it is hard some days, especially like today. Like it's really nice weather outside, and I'm like, I want to sunbathe. But we've done like our sessions this morning, and I'm hoping there'll be more nice weather. So yeah, and it's nice that we have each other to kind of get each other through it. And you can kind of tell if one's being lazy, or like if I was an afternoon where I'm like, oh, I really don't want to, and then Ellie's already outside working, I'm like, come on, like you've got to go do it. So I think it helps having each other.
I love that commitment. Now, you obviously have got plenty to motivate yourself. Like you say, you've got each other, you've got the Olympics to look forward to when they do eventually happen. But for all of us being stuck at home and not being able to go anywhere, motivation generally can be quite a struggle. What are your top tips for keeping motivated, whatever your goals might be?
I think you should just set like yourself a goal for each day, whether it is like physical exercise or not. Like even today, like I did my workout this morning, then like I made a plan like I was going to do a makeup tutorial and like just get stuff done. I've been redoing my room and things like that. So I think making sure you have a plan so you can actually like get up and get on with it. Otherwise, if you don't have anything to do, you are just going to kind of mope around and like just not do much. So yeah.
I wanted to ask you actually about the makeup side of things, Ellie, because I know it's something you're really passionate about. Is that something that in a way the plus side of this is you've got time to be filming more tutorials or practicing your skills there as well?
Yeah, definitely. That's all I've been doing. Other than doing workouts, it's either workouts, doing TikToks, or doing makeup tutorials. So, yeah, it's a good thing.
I've got to say, your face does look absolutely flawless. Now, on those TikToks, though, you two have been doing them separately, together. They're brilliant. How much fun are you having?
It's good to it's a good way to pass time. Like we did some the other night, and it took us like an hour and a half to film them and get it right.
Yeah, and learn the dances, and it's a commitment, but it's good fun. But it is good time. It takes up time out the day. It's good fun, and it's nice to be able to spend some time with the family as well, because we do miss out on a lot of that when we're just training all the time. So there's definitely silver linings. Yeah.
One of the few perks, I suppose, as well, isn't it? You are getting this increased time at home and being all together at home from the looks of it as well, which I'm sure there are tense moments, as there are in any family, but that must be really lovely.
Yeah, definitely. Like for me, I've been training away most of this year anyway. So when the lockdown happened, I was like, wow, this is the first week in about 3 months I haven't had to pack a suitcase. So that was nice.
Has your mum forgiven you for the April Fools that you pulled on her when you told her that the government was shutting down the internet? Which is genius, by the way.
Suck April Fools! I don't think she's forgiven us that we tweeted about it and put it on our Instagram. But the actual April Fool, she forgave us.
That was so funny.
It was a great video. I would recommend heading to the girls' socials to have a look at it, because you had such a good deadpan as well. I was really, really impressed with the acting skills.
I couldn't carry it on for that long though, because I was like, I'm gonna laugh.
Have you been keeping in touch with your fellow gymnasts as well? I know there's such a great kind of community, and you all get on so well, having competed together with Team GB and on the British circuit. Are you keeping in touch with other gymnasts, and what's the general mood amongst everyone?
Yeah, we do kind of speak. We have teammates within the squad, obviously, that we're closer to and not. So normal, just kind of Snapchatting, WhatsApping, things like that we're doing. And between the whole senior squad, we set up an Instagram page called Seniors at Home, and everyone's kind of been posting either workouts or stretching or nutrition, just kind of what they've been up to at home, and keeping us inspired as a team, but then also trying to inspire this many little gymnasts out there that aren't able to train and haven't got a clue kind of what to be doing at home, and are also just probably missing training a lot more than us. Everyone misses it, but when they're little, it's what you really look forward to. And for us, it can get a bit much sometimes. So having a break initially can be quite nice, but I think everybody's excited to kind of get back to the gyms when they hopefully reopen, which hopefully won't be too long away.
Yeah, I bet the parents of many little gymnasts as well are desperate for the gyms to reopen. What are your top tips then for young gymnasts stuck at home? What can they use around the house to get practicing, to practice, keep sharp on those skills without causing too much distraction?
I don't know. I'd probably say make sure you've got enough room to do all your stuff that you want to do. But mainly just keeping fit and trying to tick over any basic skills that you can. Try and think of different ways to keep fit and keep enjoying it and not get too bored.
Girls, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. I'll let you get back to your, I'm guessing second session of the afternoon, and more importantly, TikToks and more makeup tutorials.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.